So Navneet, I'm recording this session. Do you have any problem if I record it and put on the YouTube? It's fine for you?
Yes, sir, it's fine, sir.
Okay, Navneet, welcome on our channel and congratulations on your recommendation. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
So in this whole session, we would like to know about your recommendation, that how you prepared for that and what helped you to make it through. Okay. So we'll start with your
Okay, sir.
PSB and preliminary selection board. Maybe if you're able to recall your date, on what date you have been there, or how many people reported, and all those things, all the details, then how you prepared about it. So just you can start with it.
Sure, sir.
Okay, issue now it's fine. Yeah,
It's fine. Yes, sir.
yeah. So you can start with your introduction a little bit, no? Like what is your education,
Okay,
what
sir.
you currently working, what is your background and all. Then we'll go for a PSP.
Okay, sir. So myself, Navneet Singh. I belong to Raebareli, Uttar Pradesh, and I have completed my graduation from Lucknow University, Uttar Pradesh, main campus. And I was working with a tech company named Genius Lane as an office associate. And talking about my PSB, sir, my PSB was in Noida only on 6th of July, morning batch, and 160 reported, and I guess 13 or 17 were screened in on that day, on 6th of July, sir. That was about my PSB.
Okay, through OIR or like total final people got selected, 13 people selected.
Right. Totally finally, sir. OIR, no one was out. I guess 70 people were there who reported to PSB, and no one was OIR out, and 13 were screened in.
Okay, they made most of the people out on for this particular PPT session, right? So how was your PSB?
Yes,
like, have you prepared for that, or like you have like gone through like directly? What was your strategy on that?
First of all, so when I cracked the exam, I was completely unaware about the PSB process. And then I came to your Telegram channel and I came to know about the CCBT, and I saw your videos and practiced CCBT through it. And I was familiar with the screening process and the rest of the screening process, so it was easy for me. So with the help of your videos, that was based on the CCBT test and my screening experience, I got screened in, sir.
Okay, great. So what picture you got in your PPT session?
So it was a picture of 4 to 5 people who were standing in a circular way, and they were a group. Some can assume that they were a group of friends or they were office employees discussing on an event. I made a story that they were discussing on a task they were assigned to. They were all employees and friends as well, and they were planning to. I guess I made a story on e-vehicles, that the project manager was assigned to design a new e-vehicle which was currently in demand in the society. So I made a story on that. 4 or 5 people were there in a circle way, and they were discussing things. So I made a story on that.
So how was your discussion? How it went? The PPT discussion. How many people were there in your group?
Talking about my discussion, I think 11 to 15 people were there in my group, and them were previously recommended also. And most of them were repeaters from other SSBs, but fresher in Coast Guard SSB. Hello.
Yes, you're audible.
Audible, sir?
Yeah, yes, you're audible.
So also. So we had a very good discussion. First of all, we were told to introduce ourselves. Then after that, we gave the narration very well. I gave the narration very well. And after that, in the discussion process, I didn't dominate it, but I was an active participant in the GD. I acted as a connecting link. Actually, my group got divided into two separate parts. One part was discussing another thing, and the other part was discussing another storyline. So I acted like a bridge and combining all these stories. And one previously recommended, in this case, he gave the story. He gave the group story. So 4 of us from my group only got screened in.
Okay, 4 from your batch only, out of 13. Okay, great. So Navneet, anything you want to say to the audience regarding PSB? Any selection, any preparation which you did, something which the other students also can get help from? Hello, Navneet, I'm audible.
what I notice for freshers, especially in hello, yes, sir, you
Yes,
are
yes,
audible, sir.
yes. Now tell me.
So, so generally people are aware about the PPT and which is mostly common in all the SSB process. The one which is different in Coast Guard is that is CCBT, as we are all aware about. So it needs practice. What is the most required thing for PSB? And I guess that your channel has got worth it videos which are into practice, and one can easily get through the process. Uh, CCBT is a very important step. As we all know, IR marks matter the most in the SSBs. They have got a very good stand in the SSBs also. Everyone else is aware about the PPDT process. So the only thing which people need to focus on is the narration part, GD part, and the CCBT too.
Okay, great. Navneet, now I think we should go for FSB, right? So, like you can
Yes, sir.
start. You can start like how many people reported for FSB Noida, and how you gave your psych. In psych, would be most interested to know about your TAT, VET, SRT, SD. Then we will go with the GTO and interview. So you can start with your, the day which on which you reported.
Okay. So my reporting day was on 4th of September. That was on the day CDS exams were conducted. So I missed my CDS exam and reported on 4th of September. 30 reported on the first day. And my number was 16. Talking about the psychological exams, I had got a very good command over the TAT stories. I was a little bit weak in VAT. Up to 26 words, my VAT didn't went very well. But on the 26th word, an incident happened, and that he had gone. So we had got a little click in VAT. So after 26, my VAT also went very well. SRTs were very good. SRTs were there were conditions like many SRTs were there that you heard a very loud explosion. So 4 to 5 SRTs were there in which the situation was given. You were going to college and you heard a very loud explosion. So I just wrote that he immediately rushed to the place, helped the man in getting the puncture repaired, and went to the college. So I just completely vanished the situation, not completely vanished, but just I didn't assume that as a bomb explosion. Many of the candidates assumed that the bomb explosion. They called ambulance, they called police. The other condition was also there. The SRT was also there. It was that you were on a railway station and you heard a loud explosion. There was also this also how loud explosion word was used several times. So he again it was blank. So I again assumed that he immediately rushed to the place, helped the parcel van to pick the parcel, and continued to the journey. So I made SITs like this. And for SD, I would like to pay a special attention to the candidates that whatever you are writing in a SD, your qualities must be reflecting in the TAT and VAT as well. If you are using confidence word in your SD, so at least try to make your friends, your families, and you yourself about that. So please assure to use confidence word, and your TAT stories must also reflect the confidence in you. If you are writing about teamwork, so your story should be about teamwork. You must, if you are writing about organizing events, that you organized event, your teacher thinks that you have got good organizing abilities. So you must also make stories on organizing an event. Or what I would all want to say that for SD, you must be answerable to all your points that you are writing. So that was all about my psychological part. My interview was scheduled on the second day, but the interviewer denied to take my interview. He said that I will take up to 11 and 15. Then he called from 17 to 21. So I thought that why only I was left in between. So on the third day also my interview wasn't taken. On the fourth day, my interview was scheduled in room number 402. So my interview was very
Navneet,
interesting one. See,
before you proceed, I would like to
yes, sir.
know about your TAT pitches. Do you remember any TAT pitches?
So not all of them, but all general pictures which we can
Any
easily find them on
any
YouTube.
any picture which shows any dead body? What story you made on that?
Nah, it was there wasn't any picture which showed a dead body, but there was a picture. There was a picture in which a man was lying on the bed in the hospital. So I
Mm-hmm.
made a picture on recovery on on recovery of him that he was a I made the son of that person as my hero, and he was his father who was
Mm-hmm.
serving, who was working, and he got ill, and he managed the family and also managed the college and also managed the family as well, and consoled his family members as well. So, because of his sheer dedication and efforts, his father got recovered, and all the process went smoothly. So I made a story on this. There was some assumed it as a dead body also, but I assumed him as a patient. That was, and some one story was there about person was standing in front of the mirror, and also can recall, but all of them, sir, I am not able to recall them at the moment.
Okay, fine. No issues. Okay,
Yes.
and any words or sentence you remember in that which you came across?
So
Any word?
especially I would like to quote the first word, which was brave. So I
Okay.
was preparing for the words, but at the very first word I got stuck because I was preparing for that word. What can brave be written? So I
Right.
think that the very first sentence which came into my mind, that brave soldiers, but everyone knows soldiers are brave. No soldier
Right.
is coward. So I didn't wanted to write it,
Hmm.
but I was looking for a more perfect sentence. Brave people are courageous also came into mind, but then I thought that this is also a similar sentence, that all know brave people are courageous. That is why they are called brave. So I was looking for more perfect sentence, but by the time my sentence got, my word got skipped. So my whole VAT got started shaking a little bit.
Okay.
I was completely lost. I wasn't able to recall myself to 26 word. When on the 26th word, inverter got failed, battery got down, and the screen was stopped. Our whole VAT got stopped at the 26th word, and we were told to leave the room. After 26th word, I recollected myself, and there was a word dames. 27th word I got, I guess the dames word was there. So from that, because I knew that I knew the meaning of dames, and rest of the people were not able to recall the meaning of dames.
Middle
From
name. Right.
27th word, I collected myself and writing this sentences. Started writing the sentences again. There were sentences like mother. So in mother, I wrote love, and after 5 sentences, there was word love. So I wrote mother. So
Okay.
6 to 7 situations, I did the same. I answered one word only. So that there was a word passion also. So I wrote for passion defense. So these were like, I almost did 9 to 10 one word in VAT. So I think that how I am very not very sure that my VAT went well or not. After 26, my VAT went very well, but before 26, it wasn't very good as I expected to be. So it was about VAT.
Okay. Right. And the next was SRT. Right. Do you remember any other SRT other than that explosion one?
So other than SRT, you are going to SSB, you lost your documents. So I borrowed the money from the co-passenger in my train, and I
Mm-hmm.
got my documents printed and reported to SSB. And
Right.
2, 3 were there about the SSB only, that you lost your documents, you lost your money. These were the situations. And one SRT which I am not able to get answered till date, and one of my our friend also asked to the assessor himself. One SRT
Hmm.
was there that I think I have read it, I have heard it in your channel also. That SRT was, you got conflicting orders from 2 senior officers of yours.
Mm-hmm.
You win.
Okay. That SRT yesterday only that
You got
person told me.
conflicting orders from two
Mm-hmm.
different seniors.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. So one of, I think he only asked, Vipul only asked one of the psychologists himself that what he will do. So psychologist grilled himself, grilled him, that boy, on very first day itself. So that asserty is already stuck in my mind, that what would I have done in that situation. I wrote that I will manage to finish both the tasks, but I'm not satisfied with my answer, that what if 2 seniors give conflicting orders at the same time? What will I do? So this is the SRT, sir, which is I'm a little bit confused to what to write.
Okay. So have you asked the same SRT in the group?
Most of them wrote that he will follow the orders of the most superior officer, and some wrote that he will try to follow both, and some wrote that he will discuss among both, he will be the bridge between both the officers and try to resolve the issue. So these all are the situations which candidates face.
Actually, it's totally depends on the person to person, and we don't have any right answer to that. And you know, that's how surveys deal with the situations. But no issues. Any other SRT you feel like should be discussed, like this one you discussed with us?
So generally, I'm not able to recall exact SRTs, but what I noticed, 5 to 6 were there on family members, and 5 to 6 were there on your college, and some job related, and some questioned your bravery, and some questioned your organization skills. That was all about the SRTs. It was section wise. It was a combined, jumbled section wise SRTs that which questioned all your OLQs. So this is what I noticed. Currently, I'm not able to recall all of the SRTs, but I can tell you in a brief about it.
Okay, and like how you wrote your SD self description? What is your approach in that?
So, so the very first approach is introspect yourself. Recall all your very first from your class 6th. Recall your all the other activities, in which activities you were. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What teachers gave you the responsibility? How you performed it? How your friends think about you? So pick up your confident points. Pick up the points on which you are confident and be answerable to everything. If you are writing that you are helpful in nature, please also state that how you are helpful in nature. If you are writing that my mother thinks that I am helpful in nature because I help him during the holidays, because I help her during the holidays. So be answerable for everything. That if you are writing that your friends are your friends think that you are jovial in nature, so write also for that because you make them laugh every time. So these are the certain things which you need to remember during the SD writing. If you are using, try to use most of the words OLQs, because the assessor can see OLQs words itself, so he will get a glare in that SD that yes, you are yourself are writing OLQ words. You if assessor is not able to see the OLQs in you yourself, so the OLQs in your self description, that yes, I have those qualities in me, and be answerable for everything. If you are writing that you are courageous, so don't stay away to jump into the river when you are seeing a story in a tat. There was a tat picture, I got remembered, there was a tat picture, a boy was drowning, a boy was drowning in the river, or it was a pond, and there were three people on the boat on a distance of 100 meters. So I was a naval NCC cadet, so I wrote that I took the oar from the boat owner and rowed the boat up to the child and jumped into the river. So if you are writing that you are courageous, show the courage in your stories, show your organization skills, show your abilities. So be answerable for all your points you are writing in your SD. That is all about the SD, sir.
Okay, great. So I think we are done with the psych part, right?
Yes,
So
sir.
now I think we should move for the GTO part. Like how it went for you, like what GD1, what is the topic GD1, and how, discuss in that, and how many people recommended from your group, which was the part of your GD1, GD2, and GP, lecturate, and what all the individual obstacles, like GTO task, but like outside, outdoors, individual obstacles. Sometimes this time it was a snake race also, right? Yeah.
Yes, I mean, there was snakes also this time.
Yes,
So
please.
talking about my group was of 10 people. As I told you, 30 people reported. So they made a group of 10 each, and chest number 11 to 20 were in my group. My chest number was chest number 16. The very first task which we were given was GD first. We were given two topics, and we chose the Russia-Ukraine topic. That the outcomes of Russia-Ukraine war. The first option was food energy crisis, and the second one was reorganization of NATO, and the third was arms deal. So most of my group, since I wasn't aware about the facts on the food energy crisis, so I decided to focus on the arms race. So the very moment the GD started, the guy you interviewed yesterday, Vipul Chaudhary, was also in my group. So he started stating
Okay.
facts. Chess number 19 and chess number 20 suddenly starting fact that, as we can say that Russia is the energy center, Europe is the energy center, and we can observe the energy crisis. They were stating percentages and graphs and figures and fact. I was completely blank there. So I just waited for a while, and I guess this number 11 was previously recommended in FCAT, and he also in my group 3 people got recommended: chess number 11, chess number 16, and chess number 20. So chess number 11 and 20 were sitting next to each other, since as it was a circle. So it started like in a clockwise direction from 11, 20, 19, 18. All were participating in the group. 2 or 3 of us weren't there. So there was a pause at a moment when I started about saying about arms race, and a guy was there. I won't take his name, and he was completely contradictory. As Vipul also might have told you that he just keeps his hand towards us, and I don't agree to you, gentleman. I don't agree to you, gentleman. I completely don't agree to you, gentlemen. And I was stating a fact that as we are aware about the China-Taiwan issue, so I just started my point. We were discussing on Russia-Ukraine, the effects of Russia-Ukraine war. So I inducted China and Taiwan because of arms race. I was going to keep my point. He immediately said, "Gentlemen, please don't divert the topic. We are talking about Russia and Ukraine, so let us stick to the topic and don't take us to China and Taiwan. We don't want to go China and Taiwan." So I was just stuck. करना क्या चाह रहा है बंदा, बोलने तो दे, पॉइंट तो सुन ले मेरा, लेकिन तब तक कुछ नहीं फिर हो गया. फिर उसके बाद बढ़ता गया. We all participated. We all agreed on food and energy crisis. They all supported me in arms race also. Only 2 of us were stating facts on arms race. Just number 12 and me were stating
Hello, Vipul. You're stuck.
all of the group
Hello.
was discussing on food and prices, because facts and figure were more on food and energy. So they were discussing on all. So after that, hello,
Yes.
am I?
Yes, audible.
Hello.
Yes. Now it's
I
fine.
was saying that my whole group was discussing on food and energy crisis. Only 2 of us were giving facts on arms race. So our GD went like this only. I stated only 6 to 7 points, and some chess numbers were, I won't quote their chess number, but they stated 15 to 20 points, and they are not recommended. So 4 to 5 points decently. I also stated 6 to 7 points max to max. They didn't included any facts and figures, just a normal discussion, one-to-one discussion it was. So I stated zero facts and figures. I wasn't aware about the percentages. Topics was on the inflation rates. I'm not able to recall the 3 options again. It was basically on the effects of inflation worldwide. So I was on in that topic also. So it was a tough topic to discuss
Which
on.
one? Second one.
So many of them, second one was tough topic to discuss on. It was that inflation rates are going high. So what will be the effect worldwide? So it was that Indian rupee will go down, Indian rupee will bounce back, or the investment will be more in India itself. So, or more at the last, or since it was a tough topic, so which my group found to be tough. So they weren't, this time there weren't more facts and figures. We were just having a casual talk on that topic, and after that we decided that Indian rupee will bounce back. Since inflation rates are going low now. So it was all about our second GD. After that, we were giving going through group planning exercise, GP. My GP went very well since my chess number was 16 and we were now set to be in a semicircular way. So I happened to be in the middle of the circle. My number 16, as my chess number was 16. So GS was very good. We were a group assigned to that there is a person who is bleeding, and he was a taxi driver, and some of the goons have taken his taxi, and they have went to bomb a plant. They have went to plant bomb the railway station. 100 to 150 far away. And by the time another bus driver approached us and he said that his bus full of children are stuck on a bridge and he needs help. And at that same time also a boatman also came, a fisherman also came. He said that his boat is stuck in the muddy area. He also needs help. So what happened that I made two groups of 6 and 4 each. I sent the 4 people group to with the injured people to the railway station to inform the RPF and the station master to lower the signal and do not allow the train to pass. This the RPF will handle. And to the very first task which we gave was to get the person admitted into the hospital. And after that, I wrote to inform the RPF and the station master. The third, as it was about the mass explosion. And my third preference was to get the children safe who were stuck on a bridge and water level was increasing and there was chances of flood. So we were having a jeep. We were also having a jeep. So I sent my jeep to the bus itself to tow the bus away from the bridge. Uh, the fourth priority was to save the boat from the muddy area. So this was the story written by me. So what happened in GP, just number 11 to 15 were discussing completely different story. They were making a
Okay.
group of 4 and group
Mm-hmm.
of 3 comprising of 2 each, 3 each. And my story was completely different. And just number 17 to 20 were discussing completely different story. They were saying that they are a group of 3. They will send the jeep to the railway station and they will take the tractor because there were farmers nearby. So they will take the tractors to the bus driver. And my story was completely different. So they were completely two different groups. I analyzed the situation that I got remembered of my PSB. I acted as a bridge. So
Mm-hmm.
I again started doing that. I again started just doing that. I just connected 11 and 20 and combined all the points. And at last, interestingly, what I wrote in my GP, exactly the group planned the same. The story was exactly ditto pinpoint the same as I wrote in my story. The group agreed on the same story. And my GP went very well. Out of my GP was the best. I assume that. And
Okay.
after that, group nominated me only to narrate the group planning exercise. I narrated it. It also went very well. After that, it was all on the day 2. After that, we had a group race. That was snake race, group obstacle race. So these were all the tasks which we did on the first day. We are very well 5 tasks were there in the group obstacle race, snake race. First day GT was on the second day. Just individual obstacles were left, and we were told to report at 6:30 in the morning. And what I found that individual obstacles here are very much easier. Those who are repeaters, those who have gone to AFSBs and SSBs especially, will find that individual obstacles are very easier here. Can be easily done. No hindrance in commando walk. Commando walk platform is wide enough, and the obstacles are the beam balance also. There is no beam. There is a fatta kept over the beam. So all the individual obstacles are easier. Just build your stamina 1-2 months prior to the your SSB dates. You can easily do 13 out 10 are there, and you can easily do. I did 12, but I believe that I can do more, but I did 12 of individual obstacles. By this, GTU ended, and my interview was the last task. My GTO gave us the a funny incident happened with us.
Yeah,
As I
sure.
mentioned you, just number 11, Sumit Negi. Sumit Negi is previously recommended in AFCAT. He is just recommended for flying and is flying fit. So we had introduction with the GTO. So he told about his recommendation and basketball, and I told about my NCC. I did camps. I was the platoon commander and the guard of honor commander. So I said about that.
Mm-hmm.
So after IO, GTO was having a casual talk with us. So he
Mm-hmm.
said that when I was in college days, I had friends that who were in NCC. एंड उन्होंने बहुत तीर मारे थे एनसीसी में बहुत बड़े बड़े कैंप किए थे वाईपी कर रखे थे आईडीसी कर रखे थे पर कोस्ट गार्ड नहीं सेलेक्ट हो पाए सो दिस सेंटेंस ही सेड टू मी ही सेड टू लुकिंग टू मी दैट बहुत तीर
Indirectly.
मारे थे लेकिन हो नहीं पाए इनडायरेक्टली ही सेड टू मी एंड to chest number 11 he stated that बहुत लोग आए यहाँ पे जो previously recommended थे एयरफोर्स से थे आर्मी से सबकी रिक्वायरमेंट्स अलग है हमारी रिक्वायरमेंट अलग है आप यहाँ सेलेक्ट ना होंगे तो आप डिमोरलाइज मत होइएगा so these
Mm.
two lines were directly towards us not
Mm.
indirectly he was looking into our eyes and saying this to us that we all got just vanished there. That उससे तो कह दिया कि यहाँ जरूरत नहीं तेरी. मैंने कह दिया मेरे कई अच्छे दोस्त थे एनसीसी में, बहुत तीर मारे थे, लेकिन यहाँ नहीं सेलेक्ट हुए. मैं सेलेक्ट हो गया, मैं एनसीसी में नहीं था. This GTO did with us. So our next 3 days went in vain. That what we did wrong in GTO. Why GTO said to us that हमें जरूरत नहीं आपकी. So after that, we were discussing all these things, and my interview was scheduled. So I got ready, and as soon as I went up to the interview room, interviewer again said, "आज नहीं कल लेंगे." A day prior to the conference. So I again went back, and I was informed that my interview is in the morning. My interview was very funny, and it was completely strange interview. I guess that none of any recommended candidate wouldn't have gone through such an interview.
Room
I
number
recommended
402, right?
402. My interview was in 402. So he kept he made me wait for half an hour outside his room. After that he called me and he said that मौसम बहुत खराब हो रखा है नहीं. मैं कहा yes sir indeed. कह रहे बहुत गर्मी होती है यार, मेरे को गुजरात में रहने की आदत है, यहाँ गर्मी बहुत है. मैं कहा yes it's hot here. तो कहा कि why it's hot here and why it's not hot down in the Deccan. Why it's so why it's moderate there. So I stated him about the breeze, sea breeze, land breeze, and why he said that what is land breeze, what is sea breeze. This was my very first talk which we had. He didn't ask for any introduction. He directly started asking questions. He said that why in Tamil Nadu summers are very hot. I stated about the Tropic of Capricorn and all these things. So because of the distance near to the equator, I stated all these facts. But his face told that he isn't satisfied. And after that, all of a sudden, between the land breeze and sea breeze, he told me, "Are you aware of inland waters?" So I was recalling that inland waters. Yes, I know that there are rivers, and there are ponds. I was recalling it. So तब तक कहते हैं कि नदी का नाम सुना है? मैं कहा yes sir, सुना है, नदी का नाम सुना है. तो कह रहे हैं कि क्या होता है नदी? What is a river? Please explain me into one, two, or two, maximum 2 lines. Because a river is a water body that originates from a place and flows from a place of higher altitude to lower altitude. तो कहते हैं अच्छा अच्छा okay, so this is all about a river. So Navneet, you told as you have written you were in naval NCC. मैं कहा yes sir, I was in naval NCC. So you must have done boat pulling. मैं कहा yes sir, I did. So which boat did you pull? Because DK wheeler I pulled. So he asked me the capacity of the DK wheeler, how you pulled, what were the techniques you used. He asked me who is the main member of the boat during the boat pulling. I said him coxswain. So he was satisfied with this, that yes, I know about the boat pulling and the events. So so this was the introduction. After that, room number 402, I don't know who the interviewer was. I don't know his name. He was the deputy president, I guess. So he just about the CIK, he was just like this. Tell me something about your parents, your family, your introduction, your educational qualifications, your school, your college, your hobbies, your games. He was just like this. I was counting on my fingers. अच्छा मेरा नाम हो गया, मेरा जगह का नाम हो गया, मम्मी पापा का नाम हो गया, एजुकेशनल क्वालिफिकेशन हो गया, स्पोर्ट्स हो गया. I was counting on my fingers. I was imagining we have to follow just the PIQ format. I wasn't able to hear that what he was saying, but I was just able to get the main words, that father's name, mother's name, and educational qualifications. So I was keeping this in mind. So I started saying all the things. So I covered all the topics. I gave my introduction. I gave my city's introduction, and I gave my educational qualification. So after that, I came on hobbies and interests. The moment I said talking about my hobbies and interests, he stopped me. Gentleman, I didn't ask you about hobbies and interests. I was stuck that. नहीं hobbies and interests तो पूछा था. I counted on it on my finger. So he said, I asked about your sports. I didn't ask about your hobbies and interests. मैं कहा okay sir. So I told him about the sports. I was a handball player and I was also cricket player. So he just nodded and said okay, it's fine. So after that, I am from Raebareli, so I gave the introduction of my city. So I didn't mention MLA and MP of my city. Just a second, sir. I didn't the member of parliament and MLA. So he mentioned that Navneet, you are coming from a place that is very highly active, highly politically active. So he purposely stated that. So yes sir, the opposition party leader, Mrs. Sonia Gandhi, is the member of parliament from my city. So he smiled. You are aware that Sonia Gandhi is a member of parliament? Like, yes, sir. So he said that why she is member of parliament from past 25 years. He himself said that. I guess that he is aware about the place. So he himself said why Sonia Gandhi is member of parliament. BJP की लहर है, सोनिया गांधी को क्यों जिता रहे हो? Because I don't know, everyone there is a Congressy. So everyone votes Sonia Gandhi. So he laughed. क्या तुम कांग्रेसी नहीं हो? मैं कहा yes sir, I am कांग्रेसी. तो फिर कहता है कि अच्छा हु इज द एमएलए देयर? तो मैं कहा सर आदित्य सिंह. तो कह रहे हैं आदित्य सिंह किस पार्टी से? मैं कहा सर बीजेपी. तो कह रहा है राइट नाउ यू आर सेइंग दैट यू आर अ कांग्रेसी एंड यू आर आल्सो सेइंग दैट यू वोटेड फॉर बीजेपी एमएलए. मैं कहा सर वी डिडंट voted, we the members of Rivalry didn't voted on BJP, we voted on his father's name, that is Akhilesh Singh's name. तो कहा who was Akhilesh Singh? मैं कहा सर he was Bahubali. तो कहा you being a defense aspirant voted for a Bahubali. So मैं कहा sir he wasn't, he was called a Bahubali, but he wasn't Bahubali for our city members. So he said that, how can you say that he wasn't Bahubali for your city members? I told him one or two incidents and verified that. I just gave reasons for my what I said. Just in the interview process, what I want to say that be answerable. What even a single for a single word, be answerable what you are saying. So I answered him that why I voted for Akhilesh Singh's daughter. So he was happy with that. So after that, he continued on my education. The moment the achievements were written, so most of my achievements were in NCC. My interview got completely changed into a different direction. Up to this place, my interview was going in a straight way. After that, he said, "You were Guards Parade Commander." Yes, sir, I was. So he said that President is given how many men guards. So I told him. After that, he said, whom do you give Guard of Honor? Vice Chancellor of the University. So after that, he said to me, which salute you did? You did gun salute or you did sword? Because I did hand salute. My whole contingent did gun salute, but I did hand salute. So he told me that which salute you did. I showed him the Navy salute. This is like, it is like this. So he told me tell me the significance of all the three salutes. First of all, tell me how many salutes are there. So I told him about the Army salute, Air Force salute, and Navy salute. He then asked me, tell me about the significance of all the salutes. So I told him about the significance of all the salutes. Then after that, he said to me, your contingent was holding which rifle? I told him it's an SLR rifle. So he asked me, tell me at least 10 parts of SLR. So I started answering him. So, yes, sir.
I'll share one more link. This session is about to over now. Okay, I'll share one more link.
Okay,
we'll
sir.
join from there. We'll share in next 3 minutes. No? Sure.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Yeah? We'll continue this way. Navneet, please continue with your NCC parade.
So I was telling that he asked me about SLR parts. So he told me to tell 10. So I told him 5 to 6. After that, said good enough. So or yeah, because sir, currently I'm not able to recall all of it. Right. Sorry, sir. So after that, he said me that tell me how you did guard. Like what command's position was your contingent standing? Tell me, first of all, tell me the commands from the very that my contingent was in Vishram position. After that, when the dignitary arrived, I commanded to be on them Savdhan. I said them Scott Savdhan. After that, when the dignitary arrived on the stage, I said that Scott General Salute Salami Shast. So he stopped me at that moment that no, please stop. Tell me in which position was your contingent standing. So I was aware about that. If any guy would have been lying about that, he got caught at that place. So I told him, sir, in Indian Navy, generally the soldiers who are in the contingent are in Bagalshas position, but it was a combined parade of the Army and the Navy NCC. So we all were in Bajushas position. It is a position in during the Guard of Honor. So I told him that all of them were in Bajushas. So I told them to, and we did Guard of Honor from Bajushas directly itself. In our armed forces, we generally do it from Bagalshas. Bagalshas is a position in which we hold rifle up next to our shoulder, and in Bajushas we keep the rifle down near to our feet. So I told him that we directly do from Bajushas. So he told me that he passed me a pen and said, suppose this is a SLR rifle, show me how you do it. Like, okay, sir. So I'm doing this in an interview room. He said me
Okay.
to leave the chair and stand up and do the
With a pen.
tell the difference between bagal shast and baju shast with a pen.
Badges.
So I
Okay.
did that. I did that. Ki bagal shast baju shast. So he said me that baju shast se bagal shast kaise down. So I showed him that also. After that, he said that suppose you were a member of that contingent. So show me the complete drill which you did there. And
Oh.
suppose you are the commander or commander yourself. So give command in a low voice that your voice don't goes out of this room, else everyone else will be laughing. He only said that. So he said that. So give the commands and perform accordingly. So I gave the commands to myself only, Sadhan and then General Salute Islamist. So I showed him complete guard of honor. And after that, he said me that he was satisfied that I knew all the activities of the guard of
NCC
honor.
girl.
So he
Okay.
was satisfied. He NCC didn't stop there. He was satisfied
Okay.
only about the guard of honor thing.
God of Honor.
I
Yeah.
also had I was also part of Lucknow Republic Day Parade. So
Oh.
he started intriguing on that. You were also a part of Republic Day Parade. Like, yes, sir. So how many parades, how many type of marches are there? I told him flat foot march, style march. Saka, which march you did? I did style march. So he said that how many type of style marches there. So I explained him that so दाहिने से मध्य से बाएं से. So he said that what is दाहिने से बाएं से मध्य से. So I answered that also that we take that person as a right marker if we are saying that दाहिने से तेज चल. So the rightmost person is the right marker and whole contingent will follow his drill. So I explained him all about the drill. He said that suppose you are doing the DST in during the drill, we have got a drill squad test. So he said to me that suppose you are giving DST and in how many steps you will salute and for how many steps you will salute. So I
Oh.
also said that when I will be arriving the dignitary and the national flag, I will salute, and after 7 steps, I will put my salute down. So he was satisfied with that NCC. So after that, he again came back on my PIQ and he asked me a very strange question that गुस्सा आता है?
Oh.
I just stopped myself for a while and I said, yes sir, आता है. बोला कितना आता है? मैंने कहा सर बहुत आता है. तो उन्होंने कहा कि कब आता है? मैंने कहा sir, when someone doesn't follow his or her commitments. So he was happy with the sentence that
Ah.
yes, okay,
Makes sense.
okay, गुस्सा आता है. So and उसके बाद कहता है कि why Coast Guard? Why Coast Guard? So I said that, sir, not basically Coast Guard. I was, as I told you, that I was in the Naval NCC. So I was just in love with the uniform, the white color. If I get to chance to join Indian Navy also, I won't stop myself. I just white uniform. That is why Coast Guard, and I'm not eligible for applying for Navy since BTech is required there, and I have done BSc in my graduation. So that is why I have applied for Coast Guard. So he said to me that you have no other reason, just uniform applying for Coast Guard.
Right.
No sir, I just want that white uniform. That is why I have applied for Coast Guard. So you don't just applied for white uniform. So I honestly speaking, I said the same line. So when I was applying for the job, I wasn't very well aware about the duties performed by the Coast Guard. I was just aware that they secure the Pani ka BSF. One of my friend told me that Coast Guard is Pani ka BSF, iska form kaam kar raha ho. So I said that I told the interviewer. So my friend told that Pani ka BSF hai. So I wasn't
Oh.
aware about the Charter of Duties. But when I cleared the exam, I studied about the Charter of Duties. So I found that interesting that since people in down there south have got more belief in Coast Guard than Indian Navy because Coast Guard are their lifesavers when distress at sea. So he was also I can look into his face that he was satisfied with my answer. He was having a smile. After that, he said to me, okay, Navneet, apart from all your organizing abilities, all your leadership qualities, all your determination, all your dedication, all the good points you have in yourself, why you think we should consider you? Why you
Right.
think I should recommend you? And just don't mention me any big points or any words that you are very confident, you are very responsible. I know that you are responsible. That is why you held these responsibilities. I know that you are determined because that is why you were also able to perform very well in NCC. So tell me other than that why I should select you. So I told him that, sir, I think that I can interact with people very easily. I make friends very easily. So, and our duty is generally interaction with the civilians. Our duty works on the on the inputs given in the civilians, the fishermen's, the smuggling of drugs. So he smiled and he said that, are you saying that you will conversate with the fishermen and get the inputs? I said, yes, sir, I can easily do that. I think that I can make fishermen friends easily too. So he said to me, just name me the states in which coastal lines are there, the states connecting the coastal lines. I said, sir, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Goa, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Odisha, West Bengal. I mentioned all these states. So he then asked me how many languages are being spoken there. He said, sir,
Right.
Gujarati, Marathi. I said, Gujarati, Marathi, Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, and Bengali. So he said me, तेरे को कितनी आती है? He said, sir, Hindi and English.
Good
So
question, actually.
he said, then how? So he said that then how can you conversate with the fishermen present there? Generally, you will be posted down there in the south where Tamil and Telugu are proficiently. He gave me a hint himself only that he said that generally Tamil and Telugu are being spoken there. So how will you survive there? So I said that, sir, as you mentioned, Tamil and Telugu are the most common language being spoken there. So I believe I
Right.
can learn one of them, and I will be able to understand what they are able to say, and I think that I will be able to convey my points also. And some of my teammates will be who will be working with me must be from the south, and he will be my friend, and I will take him as a translator. So he laughed on this sentence that you will be using your partner term. Like, yes, sir, if the situation demands, I can use him. So he said that, okay, okay. So he was satisfied. I
That's
can
right.
see that he was satisfied up to that place. Then he came up to my previous interviews. So he said that a very interesting question. I got conference out from FCAT, Mysore. So he said me that how you felt when you got conference out. So I felt sad. I felt sad when I got conference out. I said this is smiling. I never put my smile down. So he said that, okay, you felt sad. You feel sad also. Like, yes, sir, I feel sad. I got sad when I got conference out. I was screened out 2 times for NCC entry. So he said that you got screened out for NCC entry. What happened? Like I said, it was also my very first attempt in the NCC entry. It was 18 SSB Allahabad. So my first SSB attempt it was. So I said that. So it was my very first attempt, and I wasn't aware about the whole process. And I lacked somewhere in GD. So that is why I was screened out. So you are not blaming direct entry. बहुत बंदे आए and इस वजह से तुम बाहर हो
Mm-hmm.
गए. No sir, I was not very good in GD. So that is why I wasn't selected. So he was happy after this sentence also. So after that he asked me UPSC क्यों नहीं निकलता, CDS की SSB क्यों नहीं है, ND की SSB क्यों नहीं है. Because the GS बहुत weak है. I'm weakest in GS,
Oh,
and I said this smiling. I said this smiling. So he said that GS बहुत weak है. Generally people are GS strong in GS. Like, no sir, I'm strong in mathematics, but my GS is very strong. My GS is very weak. So he said me, okay, you are strong in mathematics. Tell me within 30 seconds that if the cost of painting this room is 5 rupees per square feet, how much cost will be there? How much cost will be there? So
man.
I told him the cost. I guess I told him 3,000 rupees or something like that. I told him that. So he was satisfied with that answer also. So he said that, so you know that you weren't good in India in GS. So why you didn't work for CDS? Because sir, I worked for CDS exam and I was very confident that I will crack this time. So he said that, क्या हुआ फिर क्यों नहीं crack कर पाया? Because my reporting was there this attempt on FSB Noida. So he smiled that you are blaming us for not cracking CDS. Agar no sir, not at all. I am not blaming. I just stated a fact that so previous attempt में क्या हुआ था? I stated in that in previous attempt I met with an accident and I had multiple ribs fracture. So he got a
Oh,
face of pity and he said that ribs fracture हुआ तो medical out नहीं हो गया. Because sir, it was a minor fracture and I got recovered and I have got multiple X-rays done. I am fit. So okay, you are fit. I can see that you are fit. So after that, after that, he asked me a very interesting question. I am not able to recognize it. It was that these were all the things, and one thing he asked me. After that, he asked me about GS. When I said to him that GS is my weakest, so he said that Navneet, you said that GS is your weakest. So are you aware about string of pearls? Yes,
string
sir,
of
I'm
pearls.
aware about string of pearls. Yeah, yes, sir, I'm aware. So he laughed. You said your GS is weak. So how are you aware about string of pearls? Sir, I studied about string of pearls. So he said that, okay, tell me something about string of pearls. I told him. So he immediately came up to Taiwan. So he said, what is the significance of Taiwan worldwide? So I told him that. So he said that India supports Taiwan or not. Because officially India doesn't. So I stated all the facts which I knew. So he just asked me 2 or 3 questions, and after that, I'm not able to recognize the question which he asked me. He asked me the minister's name of USA who recently visited Taiwan. So I said, sorry, sir, I don't know the minister's name. So he nodded. He said, okay, okay. He asked me another thing. My subject was geology in graduation. So he asked me, what is geology? So I told him about geology. So he asked me volcanoes. Volcanoes पता है क्या होता है? मैंने कहा, yes sir, volcanoes. So he told me, tell me 15 volcanoes who are not situated in India. So I was completely blank at this question. So I just smiled and said to him, sir, I studied geology. I didn't study geography. So he smiled. Sir, I didn't study geography. I know the principle of volcano and how it works. So he nodded. You aren't aware about the volcanoes and where they are situated. No, sir. So like this way, my interview ended. 2 or 3 more questions were there, and he said that rate your performance in other tests. I told him what happened in that. As the situation was, I told him directly, just be truthful in your interview process. You will be perfectly going into that. And my conference was also very interesting. After that, we chilled, we played in the sports complex. I was very first time playing in the silicon court, in that synthetic court, badminton. So I was enjoying that moment. So we enjoyed, we played volleyball, we played chess. Sorry, we played chess. And after that, the conference was, our conference was one day prior to the estimated date. The generally conferences are held on Friday. Our conference was on Thursday itself. Thursday we got a good photograph. And this conference was a little bit different. For the very first time, I saw that the jumbled conference was there. The very first conference started from 11 to 16, then 1 to 10, then 21 to 25, then 16 to 20, then at last 26 to 30. Sequence was just completely jumbled. No particular sequence was there. There were five from different group. I I saw this conference for the very first time. So my conference was after chess number 10. Chess number 10 was also previously recommended just in this interview also for FTAT flying from Gandhinagar. So he was sitting next to me during the whole conference process. So as you are aware that there are 10 chairs on the stairs itself. So chess number 10 was next to me. So we were having conversation. Generally conferences were going for 30 seconds, 10 seconds, and 1 minute max to max. Chess number before to us, all the 15 chess numbers just went into, I guess, 10 minutes. 15 chess numbers were over. So after that, chess number 10 was there. So his waiting time was for 15 to 20 minutes. So I said to chess number 10 is 2 years younger to me. I guess he is 90. He is just 20 or 21. He is not eligible this time to apply for Coast Guard since they have changed the age criteria. But he was eligible previous time. He is 1 to 2 years younger to me. And this was his second attempt. For the very first attempt, he got recommended in Gandhinagar for flying run. So he said to me that he said कि यार doubt वाला केस हूँ मैं, मेरे साथ क्या होगा अंदर, I am completely unaware. So he was from Uttarakhand. So I said him कि क्या हो गया यार, SRT पूछेंगे. He was from Uttarakhand.
Okay.
So Dheeraj Mehra, his name was, chess number 10. So be prepared for your friends and family matters, and interview will automatically clear you. So we were discussing the same thing that he asked me that what kind of SRTs. I told him that. So he just he just went in there. He just went in after 15 to 20 minutes. He came out after 5 minutes. I asked him in the staircase itself that क्या पूछा. He just said to me lunch dinner, nothing else. I said okay. So okay. So after that, my chess number was there. So my waiting time was also for 15 to 20 minutes. So I was just walking on the staircase, and all were all were giving me thumbs up.
Thumbs up,
हो जाएगा,
yeah.
हो जाएगा, हो जाएगा. वसंत
Mhm.
blender ना करियो, blender ना करियो. मैं कहा okay. So I went in there. So for the very first time, we were on the 7th floor. So I was able to see a mountainous structure. I am not aware that what is that. Some of my people told that it is Paharganj, Delhi ka Paharganj. And so for the very first time, I saw that. So I was calculating the actually length of the building, that how much the building is taller. I was doing that in my waiting time. So I went into the conference room, and the president, IBS president Jain and vice president said to me to sit down. So the very first question he asked me, "बाहर बैठ के क्या कर रहे थे?" So
Mhm.
I said him that, "Sir, I was calculating the length of this building." So the moment I said this, everyone just turned towards me and started nodding their heads. Okay. So then the deputy president told me that, how much did you calculate it? I said it's about 145 to 140, 150 feet. So the moment I said 150, all of them started nodding in a yes manner. That okay, yes, it's a.
Somewhere
I
close to that.
thought that it's a good number. So so he said to me that how you calculated it. Because sir, I estimated there are 10 floors and each floor is of 13 feet. So 130 feet of this, and there is a cone structure present on the top. So I estimated 10 feet for you. So
Max.
140 to 150 is the maximum height of this building. So they all started smiling that okay. So they started me rate a performance of all your tests. I said it's a 9 out of 10. So why 10? Why not 10 out of 10? Because sir, I lagged a little bit in VAT and lecture rate too. I didn't perform up to my maximums what I have thought.
Right.
So he nodded and he said that कल इवनिंग में क्या किया था. I said कि सर बैडमिंटन खेला, चेस खेला, वॉलीबॉल खेला. So he said that कि किसके साथ बैडमिंटन खेला. मैं कहा सर I played with प्रधान अधिकारी. There was in Navik. I played
Oh.
with sir. And so I mentioned that, sir, I don't know the sir's name, but I played with the Coast Guard, Pradhan Navik itself. So they all started smiling कि पूछे बुला के. मैं कहा yes sir, पूछ लीजिए सर, खेला था. तो उसके बाद उन्होंने पूछा कि what all you learned from here, what the good experience you got. So I mentioned that. After that, suddenly I guess the vice president remembered of a question. He asked me, building के चारों ओर घूमे थे. मैं कहा yes sir गया था. So he asked me, did you notice any unusual structure? I was completely blank on that question. That unusual structure, what is that unusual structure? I said, no sir, there wasn't any unusual structure. So he said to me, नहीं याद करो कोई structure कुछ तो देखा होगा building के चारों ओर. So I was about to say that I noticed parking and all. So automatically said that gate की तरफ गए थे. मैं कहा yes sir, I went to gate side. So he said to me, did you notice any sculptures present near gate? Yes sir, I noticed 3 soldiers are there. So which color they are wearing uniform? Because sir, I black. So he said me, in which mode they are standing? I said in attack mode they are standing. So they all started laughing. So I was getting a vibe that some question is coming, which is going
Big
to be the
question.
bang one. So he banged the question. He said to me that how many of them are holding guns out of 3. I was completely blank on that question. I didn't knew completely zero on that question. That how many of them are holding guns? Why he asked this question only? That how many of them are holding guns? This all is coming into my mind. That why he is asking how many of them are holding guns. So I remembered that I saw one soldier holding a gun, but I wasn't aware that all of them were holding or not. So I thought that it's a defense area and it's about Coast Guard. At least 2 of them might be holding a gun. One might be holding a tube or a binocular or something else. So at least 2 of must be holding the gun. So I said the same that so for 2 of them I'm very sure that they are holding the gun. For one of them I don't remember. So some raised their eyebrows and some just nodded, and President smiled. For the first moment, President smiled. And the moment I knew that this question might be the selection, might be the reason for my selection as well as my rejection. So we were on the 7th floor, and after that question, they said, "Okay, Navneet, thank you. You can leave now." So I was in doubt that I said the correct answer or not. So I just rushed from the stairs from 7th floor to the 3rd floor to just see we were staying on the 3rd floor. So I just came on the 3rd floor and rushed towards the window. I just saw how many of them are holding guns. 2 of them are holding guns and one of them are holding binocular. So my guess got accurate. So I was happy after that. I was feeling very well that yes, my guess got right. And after that, when the result declaration was there, just number 10, very funny incident. When I came down into the waiting room
After conference.
on the first floor, I met after conference. I met with chest number 10. He came towards me and he said, "मेरे बारे में कुछ बोला, मेरे बारे में कुछ बोला." मैं कहा, "तेरे बारे में क्यों कुछ बोलूँगा?"
हाँ.
So he said to me अंदर, मैं कहा, "तूने मेरा नाम लिया अंदर? क्या नाम लिया अंदर?" तो उसने कहा कि मैं अंदर गया. So sir asked me, बाहर बैठ के क्या कर रहे थे? So I told him that chest number 16 is senior to me. So he was telling me to prepare for some SRTs. So he said this into the conference, and he didn't told me. After coming out, he told me that बस lunch dinner पूछ. So I just was thinking that I did a blunder. The UT president asked me बाहर बैठ के क्या कर रहे थे. I told him I was calculating the length of this building. But just number 10, I was training him for SRTs. So I was completely vanished. That अब तो गए, अब तो झूठ बोल दिया conference में. And अब खेल खत्म, अब कुछ नहीं हो सकता. Conference तक I was very sad. All of them were changing clothes. Whole conference was going on. They were just coming down and changing the clothes immediately. So I was also thinking of changing the clothes. कि यार अब तो हो गया, just number 10 ने मरवा दिया, मेरे को बताया नहीं. And खत्म हो गई कहानी, कुछ नहीं हो गया, हो गया. So, but I recollected and waited for the results. Results announced हुए, chest number 10 was the first name. And chest number 11 was there. These two guys were previously recommended for CAT. So chest number 10 and 11 were selected, and after that, my chest number was called. My chest number was called twice. Chest number 16. Then I got up from my chair and walked out of the room. And chest number 20, Vipul Chaudhary, the guy you interviewed yesterday. Okay. These 4 of us recommended. So this was all about my SSB stuff.
Okay, that was a really wonderful and great experience. I think there are a lot of knowledge is going to get for NCC cadets with this interview.
Yes.
Right? क्योंकि काफी लोगों को like NCC वाले उतना grind नहीं करते हैं. So he grinded you, right? But you have all the answers, right?
He completely grinded me, but just I knew the answers. So write what you know. If you are writing anything in PIQ, just completely have complete knowledge on that. I had written about the I had written about the handball. So he asked me 5 rules of handball. So if you are not aware about that, so don't write it. If you are writing any sports, be prepared for the 5 sports person worldwide and about the rules and about the dimensions. That is all. If you are writing something in SD, reflect your actions in your stories. That is all I want to say, sir.
Okay, Navneet. So any advice or anything you would like to tell to the people who are watching this video? Anything advice from your end after recommendation? What do you feel? What piece of advice you would like to give to all the people?
So this thing, when I was a conference out candidate, I used to ask from the candidates who were recommended previously. So all of them just said, be yourself, be yourself, be yourself. So I won't say that be yourself. Be yourself also nahi hota. We have to change. Sometimes we have to lie also. So just make that lies perfectly. If you can answer that lies with reasons also. So be answerable for every single word which you are going to utter in SSB or which you are going to write in the psychological process. Be answerable for all the things. Psychological, if you are able to make stories, if you are able to, I read a book that was Secrets of SSB, and the stories were completely differentiated into 2 parts. One was administrative stories and one were operational stories. Administrative stories completely, suppose that a bridge collapsed. So the guy who would like to make an administrative call the police will go to the SDO and will get the bridge repaired and will take the action on the builder and all. These were administrative stories. And operational stories are kind of which you are going to solve immediately. Defense forces are looking for your immediate action. These need to be operational. What I have noticed after discussing from recommended candidates, that they are generally looking for operational stories, your operational mindset, not administrative. Everyone can write a letter to the DM. Everyone can do that letter to DM and Chief Minister and get the bridge repaired. But what you can do, what guts you have, what you can make the people do there. So that is all. Be operational in all your words. If you are writing that, be just try to reflect yourself. Be yourself in that. I can say that yourself in that. What you are able to think, if you are that in Secrets of SSB book, I found it very useful. I will share it into the group. That there was a word responsibility. So he told there was written that first thing which you are able to think of responsibility. What if you are a responsible person, what makes you? Responsibility grooms you. So make sentences on that only. Don't say that soldiers are responsible and teachers are responsible. Everyone knows that soldiers are responsible. Tell that what responsibility makes you. There was a sentence on word on. So the very first thing, some many guys get stuck in this word murder and kill. The very first thing which comes into your mind after hearing word murder or rape, it's completely unethical. So write it. If it's unethical, write it. Don't say that murder is a crime. Everyone knows murder is a crime, but what it shows into your mind, what your mind perceives it as a murder. So if you think that it's unethical, tell the whole society that it's unethical. So reflect it in your words. For SRTs, don't assume the problem's big. If you are assuming that unless and until the word bomb explosion is used in it, don't make SRTs like that. It's just an example. It's just an example to solve all the SRTs like this. Don't. There was a SRT on crossing a nala. You can assume a nala of 10 feet also and nala of 1 feet also. The width
Right.
of that nala is not mentioned here.
Right.
The width of mentioned here. So don't be a problem maker for yourself. If you are assuming 1 feet nala, you can easily jump that. So if you are saying that you are courageous, so show it in your SRT, show it in your that stories. That's all I wanted to say, sir. And for GTO just practice for lecturate and be into the news processes, and in interview be truthful. That's all it
Correct.
requires, sir.
Okay, well, Nami, that was a great, interacting with you. I hope all the candidates who really want to be
Yes, sir.
officer in, in future will definitely get a lot of takeaway points from your this session. Okay, and the last thing I
Yes,
want
sir.
to ask: do you have any feedback for our channel, like something what we can do, like going to help all the aspirants or something? What do you feel like some suggestions you'd like to give to us? I think maybe if you're following us, I don't know, maybe you're following us, before or not.
None. I'm following. I'm following. Yes, I'm continuing. I'm continuously into your group and the whole process. And what I noticed, sir, that generally people applying for Coast Guard are looking for CCBT test, and everyone is able to get content for psychological test and GTO and interview also. But yes, CCBT process that completely people are unaware what is going to be in CCBT and how many seconds and how many time, what type of questions we are going to. Since it's completely different from OER, the person who didn't practice from the YouTubes and from any channel, they were finding it difficult to solve the CCBT test. So CCBT can be a very big move for us. That and are writing. I was thinking that what they were thinking, what they were writing, how they are getting selected. Why मैं भी कर रहा हूँ, why वो भी कर रहा है. So after that, after conversating with one or two of my friend, I got to know that what I was doing wrong. What I was dominating sometimes in my group. I was sometimes writing different kind of stories. I was writing different things in SD, and I was doing different thing in TAT and VAT. So these were all my mistakes that what I learned, and so we can do maximum number of recommended candidates interview who can share their what they did, so others can learn from that also. Because experience, that is the best thing we can share, and because of that, any new guy can learn. So that's the best part I can do, so.
Okay, Navneet. So that was really nice, interacting with you. I think we in this time now
Yeah.
we have to wind it up. And do you have any friend who really want to give an interview for to help other candidates? Most welcome. You can share their numbers to me. Okay. So by the time I should take a leave now, and you too. Thank you so much for giving this wonderful, opportunity to all the candidates to learn from you. And I hope this session is definitely going to help them, to fulfill their dream,
Yes, sir.
to join the armed forces. So thank you, Navneet. Thanks again. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat. Take
Thank
care.
you, sir.